Hi everyone, I'm Lorraine and I'm the owner and operator at Under One Umbrella Designs. So today we're going to be working on some paint inlays, and actually this is the second time I've ever done them, so I guess we'll be all learning together. These blanks our skull heads were cut out of MDF. I used to do resin art not a long time ago, a year ago, and I used these to do resin pours on. But I think they're a great surface to put some inlays in. I sanded the blanks because they were shiny from the epoxy, so I slightly sanded them to give them tooth, and now I'm going in and laying a layer of liquid patina on the blank, trying to get it as even as possible. And paint inlays are paint that has been embedded into paper, and when you wet the paper, and put the paper into the medium, and then let it dry, the paint will come off the paper onto your project. I hope that made sense. So here I am placing the paper on the blank, and you can see already that this one doesn't turn out as nice, but we'll be working on it together, and I'll fix it, show you how to fix it. And the first step I forgot to do was slightly wet the back of your paper before you apply it onto your project. So here I'm taking a brayer and smoothing the paper into the liquid patina. Liquid patina is by DIY. It's a really nice decoupage medium, a top coat, and also used in this manner. So I'm just getting that paper pushed into the product. I don't want to push it too hard that it distorts the paint underneath. So then I wet the paper to release the fibers and paint and get it to emerge into the liquid patina. And then I take a paper towel and just slightly remove any excess. You don't want it sopping wet, but you want it wet enough. Just pressing the paper into the medium. I can see the ridges while I was working on it. I knew there was something not working properly, but I still went ahead with it. Excuse my big noggin in the way. So then I go in and dry the paper. They say it's best to leave it dry naturally, but I'm too impatient. So dry it, then go back and wet it, and this releases the paint from the paper and helps you pull the paper away from your project. Just removing excess. So here I see, oop, something's not right. So I press it back down and go and work on the white skull. This one turned out absolutely beautiful. It's just satisfying watching that paper getting pulled back and the image being on the project. Yeah, it turned out beautiful. It gives it such a hand-painted look, natural. This one, well, You see, as I go back in, I try to put product in where it's missed. I thought I had it even, but I think when I pressed the paper down, my fingers pushed it out of the way and made channels. So I'm just, and I tap it. I don't rub hard because your paint is wet and it'll smear. So I'm taking my brush and just tapping it, moving it around, getting it into those places where you can see that the image wasn't transferred. Pressing it back down. I forgot a step here too. You should, after I have it pressed down, I should wet the back of that paper, but I didn't. I went right to drying it. I will say that they're easy to do. It just, there's the steps that you have to do, and as you do them, you'll get better at it. So I wet the paper, and then I'm pulling back the inlay, and I'm so impatient there. I should wet the paper and let it sit for a bit, but I'm just too impatient. It comes out nice. I would say not as nice as the white inlay. The white inlay's crisper lines, but some people like that look with a little bit more vintage and a little bit more hand painted, and that's what it looks like. It looks like a little bit more hand painted and not so perfect. Now I'm going in with a sealer, and you should use a sealer in a spray bottle, 50% water, 50% top coat, but I didn't have an extra spray bottle, so I went in with the brush. You have to be very careful when you're using a brush. You just go very lightly over the inlay so you don't smear the paint. Like, it looks like I'm going hard, but I'm not. I'm just tickling the top of it just to get that sealer down and seal it in. And then later on, after this first coat seals, I go in with a couple heavier coats in and then really make sure that it's all sealed correctly. Yeah, the white one turned out really nice. And the black one has a little bit of a cloudy effect. I'm not too sure what that would be. I think it just, when I pressed that paper in to start, it just went wrong. So here I'm going to do some mold, put some castings on around the edge of the skull. It's just an MDF board, so I want to kind of spruce that up, and I've made a bunch of castings from the redesign Regal Trimmings mold, I think it's called. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention that inlay is from IOD, and it's called Ditzy Blooms. I have IOD listed on my website if anybody's interested. So make a sausage kind of shape and then press it really good into the mold. I use a little, that was an IOD transfer stick. Works good for the pressing the clay into the molds. Here I'm using up Sculpey clay. It's a really good clay too. I'm just using up all my stuff I've had on hand before and gonna go into the IOD clay. So now I'm going to take some wood glue and put all my little beads along the edge. Just forming them to the edge, making sure there's no cracks in between the casting and the wood. Pressing them down, not too hard. I don't want to distort them, but I want them to be adhered to the side. And I do go back and paint the back of the project to finish them off. Just continuing around. What do you guys think of these skulls? I don't know. I thought it'd be a good blank for to try the inlays on, and they turned out good, but I don't know, flowers and skulls and butterflies. So here, oh, I missed a part. I missed taping the painting of those beads. I used Fusion metallic gold, and now I'm going into antiquing, giving them a little bit more a grungy vintage look with the DIY dark wax. Just removing, buffing it off with a paper towel. And you can see how it just defines the creases of the beads, and the butterfly gives the butterfly a little bit more definition. I don't think I had to do the back, but I did. I went a little heavy on the dark wax, so I take my paper towel and I put a little bit of clear wax and work it in together. Clear wax is kind of like an eraser. So if you go too dark, you can kind of take the dark wax off a little bit with the clear wax. It kind of lightens it up and blends it all together. So I just want to say thank you for all my new subscribers. I hope that I create content that you will be excited about. There's my finished skull. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.